Hello and welcome to Archangel Metatron's messages from Australia. I'd like to welcome everyone who has returned. Thank you to all of those people who have already subscribed to my channel. You have made me feel extremely warm and wonderful, and I thank you. And I hope you enjoy and want to continue to tune in, and many more. May is a special month for me. Since I was born in the Northern Hemisphere, May was always, it always epitomized spring. Everything growing, all of my favorite flowers coming out, the daffodils, the bluebells, green shoots growing. Down here in Australia, of course, we have the exact opposite. We are 1 month away from going into winter, so it is very much autumn here, but autumn was always another wonderful season where you had the changing of the leaves into the beautiful russets and golds, and the recognition, the acceptance, the joyfulness and celebration of a harvest that's been successfully brought in. So for me, whether I am in the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere, it is a time of great inner reflection. What does this month mean to me? Apart from the fact that I have a birthday, which I have just celebrated, I also have, I had my mother's birthday. We have Mother's Day coming up in just a few days, and then I have my daughter's birthday in a couple of weeks' time. So it is a month of ongoing celebrations, and it seems particularly important at this time that we remember the things that we want to make important in our lives, the things that are meant to be remembered with joy and with laughter, with the celebrations that we always had. And even though they may change, they are still important stages, pointers, or breaks within our year, within our lives, that we remember things. And I asked Metatron in particular what he wanted me to talk about, and he basically told me that I would know when I started. And the strangest part of that is of that particular cryptic message is that I have been, or he has brought in with him, Mother Mary quite often in the last fortnight in particular. And she was with me last night, and I asked her what messages she wanted me to bring. Because, of course, with Mother's Day coming up, it seemed really not coincidental at all that Mother Mary was with me. She symbolizes in a great many ways, irrespective of whether you are a Catholic or not. She epitomizes motherhood, what motherhood is all about, the way we view and think of our children, and the love that we actually give out to not just our children and other family members, but to also the world at large. I have come to understand through Metatron that love is something that is not simply directed in one way to one person. The energy of love has its ripple effect, and even though you may think you are only interacting with the one person in front of you, you are actually sending those vibrations of love, those positive energies of love and harmony and compassion and understanding to millions of other people. It flows around the world in effect. And this is something that at this particular time, with everything that is happening in the world, we need to hold on to more strongly than ever before. And as Metatron's Lightbearer or Wayshower, it is important for me and important for all of us who become Metatron's Lightbearers to remember that at all times we actually carry this light, the light that is pure, undiluted love from source, and that we can have an increasing and lasting effect within the world. Whether it is something that we are particularly doing, or whether it is simply by going out and smiling at somebody in the street as we pass them. The small courtesies of life have been forgotten by so many people as they try to forget some of the horrors that are occurring. And this is sad. If we can focus on the small things which bring us joy, rather than trying to avoid the horrors, but focus in a different way, we can have, or we can be, the agents of change. And before I started today, because I didn't have a clear idea where I was going, I just knew that I chose my sprays that I was going to use. I drew a card from a deck that I haven't used before, and the deck is, it's the Holistic Oracle by Antoinette J. Brax. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. And I'm really rather taken with it because on the back of the cards we have a beautiful Metatron's cube. And I've been having a look at them, but I drew a card, and the card that I drew, which was for me as an incentive, a focus point, was this one, Legacy. And underneath it says light. But what I was taken with, and I prefer to use the cards just as a guide for my intuition, what I was taken with was that we have the orb, which could be the sun, and the light that's shining around it. And then we have the circle, which could represent the earth, or it can represent the universe and ourselves. And I love this line in the center. The circle is evenly divided in two, with beautiful light going through the middle. And I'm reminded yet again that whatever we do, wherever we go, that there is light. There is always light. The light is breaking up the darker color, if you wish. Not that, I mean, I love the color, but it is breaking up. The light is always there. And I'm reminded of one of Amanda's sprays, which is called Indigo Light in the Dark. And it seems to me that no matter where we go or what we do, as long as we remember that we are light, we are filled with light, and our spirit is light. And if we continue to hold that light, shine that light, then the darkness is always diminished. And so that is the beginning of my message for this particular video. I just felt it was really important and really there are no coincidences. Metatron obviously wanted me to pull those cards, and that was the card that came up. It has its own particular message, and it had its message for me, and I hope that for many of you out there it will also have a message. Rather than allow the darkness that appears to be overwhelming at times, rather than allow it to dominate all that we think and feel and do, let us focus instead on the light. It may be difficult, but if we hold on to that light and we see the sun, whenever we see the sun or we see the moon and we see the stars, we see light. There is always light amongst the dark. And the brighter the moon is, and we have a full moon tomorrow in Scorpio, as long as that moon continues to become brighter, then the darkness is always overwhelmed. In fact, if you pay attention enough, you will see that when we have the beautiful full moon, you can walk outside and often it is almost as light as day. You don't need another light on anywhere else. And to me, that is so symbolic of how just a small light can make a difference. So I encourage everyone, I ask everyone out there to find their light within and allow it to come forth, and just smile and see how much lighter you feel, how much lighter you can make it for everybody else. And in this way, we can help to overcome the darkness that we apparently are faced with. And so to begin, I chose 2 sprays to start off with. Because it's May and because it's my month and I've always been attracted to it, I chose green to come out with. And the green bottle in the Metatron series is, it's called Emerald, of course, but it is renewal and recovery. More than anything else, I was drawn to the renewal. As I said earlier, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's spring, so you're in a period of really intense renewal as spring progresses and things grow. Down in Australia, of course, we're about to enter into our winter, which is for some people similar to the Northern Hemisphere, but for me here in Queensland, it gets slightly cooler, yes, but it doesn't stop. In fact, outside my window at the moment, the rose bush that we cut back rather severely because it looked very sick and almost dead, is now so vibrant and growing that if it wasn't for the beautiful buds that are on the ends of the branches, it would almost need to be pruned again. So there has been, from dead branches, I wish I'd taken photos, but from dead branches, we now have this luxuriant, fresh, vibrant green growth. Life is going to continue, and it only needs a little encouragement. So to begin, I'm going to spray this beautiful emerald, renewal and recovery, and I would like everyone to focus on the beautiful emerald green and remember the verdant growth that it symbolizes, because it's always important to capitalize on the best that we have. So just allow that the beautiful emerald green to sink in and revitalize, renew each cell of your body. And of course, the other thing that I was drawn to straight away was the fact that Amanda has recently brought out her new spray, the Olive Hope, and I will spray that later, but I just want to actually make sure that we can take in that beautiful emerald green to start off with. So what I would like to do secondary is to, I'm using a different deck of cards this time. They're again, Colette Baron Reid, I seem to be drawn to her cards at the moment, but they're the Wisdom of the Oracle. And I love them because on the back they have two beautiful nautilus shells. And of course the nautilus shell is alike to the Fibonacci spiral, and is part of the sacred geometry, which has become more and more a facet of the work that I've been drawn to with Archangel Metatron. And no doubt in due course I'll be able to share some of the knowledge that I'm gaining there too. Okay, first card, thank you. It seems that Metatron is always ready and willing once you make yourself available to give you the synchronicities that you find so amazing, which are really there for us to see at all times. One of the beautiful things I've noticed in the last month, when I've been preoccupied with a great many other things as well, have been the number of the angel numbers, 111, 222, 333, 444. The car that we got recently, the registration plates are 444. It's everything is around us. It's just beautiful. Okay, 3. Right. The first card that came out, which is really, we've had it before, is the never-ending story. What I actually want to draw, what immediately is drawing my eye is the heart that's underneath. And we have the little, I want to call him a pixie. Little pixie sitting on top of an hourglass. And inside the hourglass we have a heart as the sands run down. Now, to me, that is telling me that he might not be entirely happy at the moment, but he knows that if he waits just a little while longer, that magic will happen, that beautiful heart will actually reach the bottom, and when it reaches the bottom, it will flower for him also. And he will not sit there gazing into space, waiting for it to happen any longer. In fact, the never-ending story says to me that life is a never-ending story. It is something that never ends because it cannot end, because we cannot end. As long as we continue, as long as we pursue the goals that we have set ourselves, then we are sure to attain everything that we have dreamed of, everything that we have hoped for, everything that we have planned for is going to come to pass. And that's what it's telling me this. That's what I feel. In fact, I almost feel that the glass that's underneath could almost be a glass of celebration. And most people finish their glass when they're drinking. When the glass is finished, then the heart will be free. That's when the treasure will be there. Perhaps the heart also means that this is the honey of love. I have no idea where that phrase comes from or if it has any relevance, but there you go. The honey of love is flowing forth and will constantly be there. but he needs to stop looking out at the horizon and pay attention to what is within and what is there for him. That was the first one. The second one, these cards are wanting to stick today for me, but here we go. The second one was one that I love. I love elephants. By the book. By the book. It's also card number 11, which is master number. So it's something that I look for. But if you know anything about elephants, as you can see from the way they're walking, that is how they walk. The largest are in front, the smallest are in the rear, and they frequently do hold their tails as they're walking along. I was going to say hidebound, but that's not correct either. And if you notice, if you can see it, I'm not sure that it shows clearly, the cloth that's over the front, over the first elephant, is in the shape of a tiger. Now I know that occasionally a tiger will attack an elephant, but it's very rare that, that is in India, of course, it's very rare that the tiger wins. The elephants form a ring around the younger ones, and they will face down any foe. So the message for me in the card, or the message that I'm getting, is that it may be necessary to appear, it may be necessary to do things in an orderly manner, in the way that they're meant to be done, so by the book. But that doesn't mean that there isn't room to be able to put your own stamp on things. It's always possible to bring forth your uniqueness in everything that you do, and it's something we need to be aware of. And the third one, which is a new one for me, is come to the edge. And if you can see, it's a beautiful young girl in flowing white dress, rose petals flowing from her fingers, dancing at the very edge of the floating island. Now, I've just recently rewatched the film Avatar, and in that film they have huge floating islands or lands, but huge islands floating in the sky, not held up by anything. And here she is in amongst the clouds, dancing as if she hasn't got a care in the world, and she's right on the very edge of this land. She has surrendered to spirit, and she is allowing her heart to guide her. She is allowing her intuition to guide her. Her steps are full of freedom and carefree and complete surety that she will be looked after, that nothing will come to pass that will harm her or cause her hurt. It's beautiful in its simplicity. What I'm hearing Metatron say is that you don't have to take the middle ground. There's no need to be in the middle all the time, hiding yourself as if you were hiding yourself under a bushel to avoid being noticed. It is sometimes only by going to the edge, surrendering your will to that of the divine, that you can find the magic. So if you take all three of these, so we have the never-ending story by the book, and then come to the edge. I can't get all three of them up today. But what to me, what the story is here, is not a never-ending story, or perhaps it is a never-ending story. It is the never-ending story that as long as we do things by the book, yes, we will be safe, but we might find it rather boring. But if we surrender, if we believe in the safety that the divine offers, if we believe in our spirit, believe in our soul, believe in Metatron, and whoever is guiding you, if we believe, then we will be safe, because they will ensure that we will always be protected. And it is in knowing that you will be protected that you can also effect the greatest change, not only within yourself, but also within your environment. And what he's saying is that if we can learn and understand this somewhat simple belief, then we will also be able to bring the light into the world and effect the greatest change. This new moon that this full moon that we are about to have now, rather than May being a rather staid month, it's going to turn the light more on the individual as well as on the collective. You're going to be asked to look at how you think, how you feel, how you therefore interact with others, what you are actually bringing to the table. And if what you're bringing to the table is joy and love and light and compassion and understanding, acceptance of the diversity of other people as well as of yourself, then Spirit will joyously be there, dancing with us and keeping us safe. The other spray that I want to use definitely at the moment is beautiful magenta. Now, I chose these two initially because I loved the green and the magenta together. And even though it's not pink, it has pink tones in it. And the green and the pink to me spoke of the heart. And as I said, particularly with so many birthdays and Mother's Day, it seemed, and with everyone else's, for myself anyway, for so many birthdays within this month, it is a month where the heart is continuously celebrating. We are, even if our loved ones have passed, we are still celebrating. In fact, they never actually go away, as we know. They are always with us, and the more we understand and acknowledge this, the closer they can actually come to us. Yeah, okay, so magenta, divinity, and it's the divinity energy spray, which to me also, as I said, I picked it on colour first, and it seemed important, but divinity, we're talking about the source here, the divine in whatever form that you actually acknowledge it, because there is no judgment on how we acknowledge the divine, because the divine is one. It's all source and it's all one. So enjoy that beautiful magenta seeping down. It feels almost as though our heart the blood that pumps through our heart has been reinforced by the divine, by the spray that we've used, by the divine, by welcoming and absorbing the spray within ourselves. We are welcoming divinity into our lives. We are opening a pathway for the divine, for Source, to become part of our lives in every day, not just in one day or an occasional day. And there is so much more we can do when the divine is part of our lives. I'm going to draw a couple of cards from, it's the Psychic Oracle deck by John Holland. Two decks that I haven't used when I've been doing these videos before. We'll see what happens. These are the ones that Metatron guided me towards. Having so many cards, I asked Metatron to guide me to those which will be most helpful. We'll just draw a couple and get through them. I see that I'm running a little bit over my normal time, so I must have been talking a great deal. Oops. And I also with these, and I haven't noticed it before, but we have the seed of life on the back of the card. So as I said earlier on, sacred geometry with the Fibonacci spiral, it seems I'm being guided more and more towards sacred geometry, which is really wonderful. And of course, the first card that I pulled, or that I was drawn to, was this one. And that is a firm foundation. But you can see the beautiful mountain peaks behind this beautiful, well-made, muscular man. And of course we have the tetrahedron, the pyramid shape here, right there. I mean, it's right in the sacral area, which is where it will sit. And it's as if the fires of life are so firmly balanced within him that he has his feet so firmly on the path. He doesn't need to worry about where he's going. His foundations are so secure, so firm, that he can move ahead with surety. And even though there is a wall in front of him, I feel that it's not a barrier to him. The mountain is there, and he has access to the mountain if he wants to, because his foundations are firm. There's no problem for him. Our second card is beautiful, hope. Hope. Now, it looks like there is a gold held in the palm of someone's hands, but I'm taking it as it exactly says. It's hope. How do you describe hope? How do you draw hope? Well, hope is a bright light. Hope may be the light that helps to guide you. And I feel in this case that is exactly what it means. And if you notice the beautiful colors that are coming off around it, it's highlighting beautiful colors around, as well as the gold within. And you can see within, if I can hold it, you can see within the center of the gold sphere, we have a figure. And to me, that would say, that is one of the angels, the archangels, a divine being coming down, it bringing hope, bringing light, bringing joy, sunshine, and the way it's radiating out. As I said before, if we all embody that hope, the light, then we will diminish the darkness that is trying unsuccessfully to take over our world. And the third card with a beautiful rainbow over the top, which is again Metatron's symbols, foundations and achievements. So here we see the family, the father, the mother and the child before the house. So in this instance, they're talking about the fact that they have built their house, they've built it on firm foundations. They don't have to worry about their security, their home. They don't have to worry about a place to stay that is safe. And we have the rainbow. All is well. Everything is as it should be. There is no there are no problems there. There's no worries there. It is all as it should be. And that's that is, yeah. I'm actually told that is all that we need to worry about in that one. Foundation and achievements. That's it. The foundation, the achievement, the security of family, the foundation, a man and a woman forming a partnership, a union that is stronger because there are two of them. The family unit that is filled with love is a firm foundation for the growing child, to show them that this is the way that life is, this is the way that life can be, should be. The homes have become ever more important to everyone. Just recently, last night, we had the budget brought down, and there was talk with regards to the housing sector and houses becoming more affordable to more people. So having a home, having a place to call home, having a roof over your head, the foundation, the achievement of being able to have a place to call your own, where you can rest your head and know that you are safe, has become ever more important in this day and age. Why in this day and age? Because of the darkness which has been brought to light, but we with the light can actually diminish the dark. It is something apparently that we need to be aware of. It is something that we need to have constantly be reassured about, that we don't have to allow the darkness to hold sway, that no matter where we go or what we do, there is hope. There is always hope, and there is always help. And that's something that we need to keep in the forefront of our minds. Now, as I said, I also chose the hope bottle because I wanted to finish off with some hope for everybody, no matter what was going on. But I also chose, and they're the two that I chose. It doesn't show up terribly well on this background, but it is sunshine. And perhaps I chose it because it's a rainy day, but I don't feel it's gloomy, but there you go. So here we go. Some nice sunshine. And this is a beautiful spray. It is so evocative of not only sunshine, but also of pollen and growing things and honey, bees, of all things to do with summer. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're looking forward to the summer to come, where everything's flowering and you have the pollen in the air and the bees flying around. And down here in Australia, we've just finished our summer. We're into the autumn. We have the harvest. So we have the grains, the pollens in the air from the seeds, as they're harvested. I have a picture in my mind at the moment of a field of sunflowers that's been harvested, and you have the beautiful yellow leaves and the golden seeds. And it's, if you look at the two images I've presented, we're looking at the two sides of the world, the two sides of a coin. We have the spring going into summer and the summer and going into winter, or going into autumn and winter. And you have a perfect balance that no matter where you are or when you are, there will always be the perfect balance. So we have the sunshine, we have the pollens and the growing things. It's either growing or we're harvesting. We have the balance. And even in winter, Metatron is saying, even in winter, there are still things that will grow. And even though the earth may be blanketed by snow, look at the color of the snow. It is not black, it is white. You have the light in the darkness. So in the darkness of winter, you have the snow, you have the light breaking up that dark again. And it is such an important and it's an important message that needs to be spoken of more than once. That's what he's saying. He said that you can't say it too many times. Even if it seems that you know it already, it's always good to hear it again, because you will remember something different every time. So because I don't want to run over time, I will now offer you through the wonder of the beautiful Ankh, which is the union of the male and the female. It is the symbol of a human being almost, and we have the beautiful spray of olives, which were the olive oil, which was currency at one time. And we have it all combined in this beautiful olive hope spray bottle. And I'd like to offer you, with my blessings, hope to finish off. This is probably one of my favorite sprays. It has the most beautiful, beautiful scent. And I can smell within the scent the benzoin that makes up part of the spray. Is one of the essential oils that are used. And what Metatron is saying is that as long as you have hope, as long as you hold on to hope, then there is nothing that can defeat you. With hope in your heart, the sunshine will always be there. With hope in your life, you will always find the light amongst the dark. Whatever else might happen, hold to your hope. Whatever it is that you hope for, remind yourself daily of what you hope for, and tell me, I will hear. By sharing your dreams, you make your dreams a reality. So, we have hope. We have hope. And we have, of course, Metatron. And we have Sandalphon to help. We have all of the archangels and ascended masters. And I thank Mother Mary for giving me the hope I needed during the week. And I thank Metatron for being with me also. And I thank you all for joining me. I hope that I see you again. Namaste. Thank you.